The year is 1993, and the air in Seoul is thick with the smell of ambition and cheap coffee. A frantic voice screams out, "Jowa Securities? Gangdong Branch, 100 million won. I want at least a 30% return in a single month. Can you do it or not? Just give me a straight answer already." The investor demands, his patience hanging by a thread. "Sir, please calm down." The employee retorts, "Calm down, my ass. Do you even know who I am?" The employee swallows hard, realizing his mistake. "Of course I do. You're President Huang, aren't you?" The tension spikes as the employee counters. "Instead of 30%, how about over 40%? President Huang is floored. Meet Cha Dae-woo, the new hire at Jowa Securities who clearly didn't get the memo about playing it safe. Dae-woo pivots to the challenge. "I heard you got a 30% return for President Beck. Is that really possible?" Dae-woo smiles confidently. "It's your money, President Huang. I'll make it possible." "Have you ever heard of Seojin trading?" Dae-woo asks. The president shakes his head, completely clueless. Dae-woo explains that back in 1993, Seojin trading was just another forgotten ticker symbol that nobody bothered to watch. A razor-sharp gaze locks onto the target with lethal intent. There's no escaping those eyes now. Dae-woo continues, "It'll trade sideways for a bit, but next week the government announces their export policy, and then it's going to the moon." He lays out the master plan. "In 3 weeks, if we sell when the opening price matches the previous close, you'll net at least 40% profit." He doubles down on the bet. "If things don't go exactly as I predict, I'll cover the difference out of my own pocket." He leans in, making his real move. "In exchange, if I'm right, you introduce me to your high-level associates." How does that sound? "Are you in, President Huang?" The silence is deafening. President Huang grumbles, clearly wary but intrigued. "It better work out or else." The employee is stunned by the rookie's audacity. "You've got quite a knack for this. Most people struggle just to breathe on their first day." His piercing gaze locks onto his target with cold, calculating intensity. There's no escaping that silent, lethal stare. Dae-woo isn't just a rookie. He reveals the truth. "Well, this is actually my second time living through 1993. The senior staffer is baffled. "I heard you were top of your class, but I didn't expect you to be this much of a monster." The tension is palpable as he grips the cup, his eyes locked in a cold, calculating stare. Nothing escapes his notice in this high-stakes moment. He reflects on his origins. "It's only possible because after I died in 2020, I traveled back in time and possessed this very body." The news headlines flash back to the horror of 2020. COVID-19 emergency, cluster infections spreading rapidly. In 2020, the world was crumbling under the weight of the pandemic. Amidst the chaos, 2 names were quietly added to the fatality list: Jo Jin-hoo and Cha Dae-woo. It wasn't the virus that killed them. Their deaths were cold-blooded, orchestrated murders hidden behind the cover of the pandemic. The truth of his past life begins to surface. A thunderous blow connects, shattering the air and sending blood flying. It's a brutal, face-crushing impact that leaves no room for mercy. The killer mocks him. "What? Does it hurt to watch your only friend die? Pathetic." Broken and bloodied, he reaches out for one last desperate grasp at survival. The light is fading fast. A string of murders hidden behind a dark veil. This is the reality he left behind. In 2020, both he and Cha Dae-woo were silenced forever. But fate had a different plan. His memories and emotions were pulled back through time, landing squarely in the body of a 1993 office worker. And he didn't just bring his own trauma back with him. A sudden, crushing blow slams him into the ground. The pressure is absolute as he's pinned down in an instant. Mr. Jin-hoo, run! The memories of his friend's final, selfless sacrifice flood back, clearer than ever. It's a strange sensation for someone who spent his previous life feeling almost nothing at all. The tension spikes as their paths collide under the neon lights. The stage is set for a confrontation that will change everything. But now, he finally understands the weight of these emotions. He doesn't know how it happened, but he refuses to waste this chance. He embraces the new reality, fully committed to his path. The fire in his gut isn't just confusion. It's pure, unadulterated rage and a thirst for vengeance. He smiles, feeling truly alive for the first time in his existence. Within the walls of the Jowa group, one of the three giants of Korea, a legend was born. A child entered the world, carrying the weight of a dynasty on his shoulders. Everyone hailed him as a genius, pinning their hopes on his every move. He was a prodigy, speaking fluently by the age of 5 months. By age 3, he had already mastered English, Spanish, and Chinese. From the violin to fine arts, he was the golden boy destined to lead the Jowa group into a new era. The status quo is shattered as a dangerous whisper begins to tear everything apart. The diagnosis drops like a bomb. He has savant syndrome. The doctor's icy stare cuts right through you as he prepares to deliver a life-altering ultimatum. Behind that professional mask lies a sinister secret waiting to be unleashed. The parents are horrified. "Excuse me? You said he has trouble communicating and issues interacting with others." The doctor continues, noting his repetitive words and obsessive interests. The test results indicate savant syndrome, a form of autism. However, his talents far exceed those of normal people in specific areas. It's a classic case. Everything changed after that day. His world was systematically cut off from the outside, turning his life into a cage. A trembling hand reaches for the handle, bracing for what lies behind the door. The moment of truth has finally arrived. "Stop! What are you doing? I told you not to come out. Why won't you listen? Answer me. Tell me you'll never step foot outside that room again." Jo Jin-woo. This cycle of isolation repeated for over 10 long years. It only ended when his caretakers, his parents, finally passed away. A haunting silence fills the air as the flickering incense marks a tragic, final farewell. Behind the altar, 2 smiling portraits serve as a crushing reminder of lives lost too soon. A heavy, chilling silence hangs in the air as he stares into the void. The tension is absolutely suffocating. A sudden noise snaps him to attention. His eyes widen as he whirls around, bracing for whatever is lurking in the shadows. The conspirators whisper, "How many times do I have to tell you? That imbecile is the sole heir. We just need those marriage papers signed." The daughter protests, "I still hate it. It's humiliating." Her father snaps back, "Get a grip, Oh Jong-yun. It's a fortune worth over $1 trillion. Once those papers are signed, that money is ours. You were born into the Okyung group and lived a life of luxury. This is a small sacrifice to make." A chilling silence falls as she stares them down with a look of pure, unadulterated disdain. The tension is thick enough to cut with a blade. She relents, "Okay, Dad, I get it. Just stop." She prepares to sell her soul for a corporate merger. "What are you dawdling for? Get out there right now. Don't you need to greet your father-in-law? Bow your head properly, won't you?" Director Jung Song-jin scoffs. "No need to waste your energy on him. Because once the marriage registration is complete, he's just going to be dumped at the Gapyeong villa. We'll lock him up there for the rest of his life and wait for the right moment to kill him off. Then, the Jowa group will belong to our Okyung group forever." They mock him. He spent his whole life locked in a room anyway. A few more years won't change anything for a half-wit like him. Total shock freezes him in his tracks as he stares into the abyss of defeat. His world is crumbling right before his eyes. Just as the chairman predicted, he was secretly relocated the moment the funeral ended. The transition was swift and ruthless. The life he thought had hit rock bottom plunged even deeper into the abyss. He was left with nothing but pitch-black darkness and agonizing hunger. Left in the shadows, he stares at the wreckage of a broken meal. The silence speaks volumes of his growing despair. But in the darkness, the only person who showed him a shred of kindness was a complete stranger. "Mr. Jin-hoo, were you crouching in the corner again? Your hair has grown a lot. Do you have a preferred style? Or should I just cut it short? For over 10 long years, Cha Dae-woo was the only one who looked after him, treating him like a human being. And that same man, Cha Dae-woo, was murdered simply because he refused to kill Jin-hoo. Even then, all he did was flinch, but now, he finally knows what this feeling is. It was devastation and rage, the kind of fury that burns through time itself. He makes a silent vow. He will never live like he did before. Pure rage radiates from his eyes as he grits his teeth in a moment of absolute fury. The senior employee notices the change. Hey, why are you glaring at me like you're going to eat me? Look at you, your shoulders are all stiff. A cold sweat breaks as the realization hits him like a freight train. He's completely stunned. He's no longer the man he used to be. Pace myself? I can't do that. I have a long way to go. Using every shred of information he remembers from his previous life, he will tear down the Okyung group, the mastermind behind his suffering, right down to the roots. With Jo Jin-hoo's revenge and Cha Dae-woo's salvation in his sights, he moves forward. He whispers to himself, I will become your true monster. Dae-woo, can I borrow the stock ticker book? Dae-woo is confused. What are you looking for? I swear I left it on my desk, but I can't find it. Dae-woo stares at the screen, unable to process what he's seeing. Juhan Software. That's the one. Juhan Software is 23331. Dae-woo is floored. How? Don't tell me you memorized all of them? It wasn't just a guess. The one thing he liked about Jo Jin-hoo's life was the burden of his own brain. Perfect memory. He remembers every single piece of information he sees, even if it's just for a second. It was a curse when he was a child, but in this life, it's the ultimate weapon. He shouts, Bring Manager O here right now. The staffer stammers, Sir, I can assist you. I'm the client, and I can't even choose the employee I want. Manager O is on vacation. The staffer snaps back, This is why female employees are no good. What does a girl from a commercial high school even know? Talk about a hostile workplace environment, yikes. You're a woman yourself. What are you even saying, lady? He pauses, squinting at the employee. By the way, was her name Byun Sun-hee? Did Cha Dae-woo have someone like this in his life? He checks the record card. Byun Sun-hee joined in 1990. He never noticed her before, but now she's a variable he can't ignore. The argument escalates. I swear, an employee acting this arrogant. Ma'am, I didn't mean it like that. Madam, I will take care of you. The tone changes instantly. Ah, I apologize. You are the chairwoman, aren't you? Humph, you should have done this sooner. Dae-woo. It's okay, Sun-hee. I'll just need you to input the orders. What a thoughtful young man, she mutters. Check it quickly and handle the transaction for me, young man. He remembers her face now. She was on the client list at Joa Securities. How can I help you today? Would you like to buy or sell stocks? The client replies, I'm planning on entrusting you with a bit of money. 50 million won. 50 million won in 1993? That's a serious chunk of change for a middle-aged woman. What kind of return are you looking for? She shrugs. I don't expect much, just more than bank interest. How long are you thinking of keeping it with us? About 10 years? Manager O used to handle everything. You ask a lot of questions, young man. Manager O? It's best if you buy what you, the client, actually want. Enough. I don't care what it is. Just buy something good. Does she think the stock market is a grocery store? This is going to be a long day. In the 90s, stocks were a wild fad, but the systems were archaic. Before the home trading revolution, it was all chaos. If you're enjoying this recap, smash that like button and subscribe for more. Back in the day, stock trading was a grueling manual labor. You either picked up a phone or dragged yourself to the trading floor in person. Since discretionary trading was the standard back then, the corporate culture seems just as stale and dusty as the old methods. He's playing it cool, carefully selecting a company that's significant enough to impress without raising any red flags. He approaches the chairwoman with confidence. pitching Daekyung Industries as the golden ticket for her investment portfolio. The chairwoman is skeptical, but he breaks down their wholesale and chemical operations with the precision of a seasoned pro. He isn't backing down. He touts the company as a rising star with 3 years of rock-solid growth. He paints a picture of a hidden champion that weathered the IMF and credit card crises, promising a massive return on a 50 million won investment. Her jaw hits the floor. 250 million won. That kind of profit makes anyone's eyes pop. She's completely hooked, wondering if she should jump on the bandwagon immediately. The math is simple, the ambition is high, and the prospect of quintupling her money is too good to pass up. The branch manager watches closely, clearly impressed by this bold rookie. Kang Han-sung is definitely making a name for himself. He places a massive buy order, ignoring the current market price in favor of his own calculated target. He's so confident in his prediction that he's already treating the execution as a foregone conclusion. The chairwoman is so charmed by his competence that she's already trying to play matchmaker. A man this good with money is a rare catch. She's practically begging him to consider her young acquaintances. 50. The number lingers in the air. Marriage. A concept that feels worlds away for a man focused on conquering the market. The man living in Cha Daewoo's body remembers that the original version of this man had a life and a family once. In his past life, Daewoo had sent his wife and kids to America, sacrificing everything for their future. He lived the life of a lonely breadwinner in Korea, sending every spare cent across the ocean. A phone rings. It's his wife on the line. A single phone call shatters his world, leaving him spiraling in the dark. The weight of the news is absolutely crushing. She's screaming at him, completely disregarding the time difference and his need for sleep. Talk about a wake-up call from hell. She demands he sign the divorce papers and ship them off to America, showing zero compassion. He tries to reason with her, but she's already checked out of the relationship. She's eager to cut ties, clearly wanting the divorce finalized as quickly and painlessly as possible. She makes sure to get in one last jab about child support. Some people really are just cold-blooded. Looking back, it's clear she was the absolute worst spouse imaginable. A formal announcement ripples through the office, shifting the atmosphere in an instant. The theater screen goes pitch black, leaving the audience in a state of growing confusion and unease. Something has gone horribly wrong, and the tension is thick enough to cut with a knife. With a sharp thud, the stack of documents hits the desk. The game is on, and there's no turning back now. The job is done, and it's time to celebrate with a meal. He's learning that having a decent senior around occasionally pays off in free lunches. His senior reminds him that he should be grateful. At least someone is keeping an eye on him. Wait, Young Song-jin is his senior? The guy is about as pleasant as a toothache. He has to stare at that face all through lunch? This is going to be the longest hour of his life. His senior is starving and eager to leave, dragging a reluctant Daewoo along. Just as they're heading out, someone stops him in his tracks. He's shocked. Why is the branch manager calling him out of the blue? The branch manager dismisses the others, making it clear he wants a private word with the rookie. He tells the rookie not to be afraid, but his grin says something entirely different. A cold, calculating gaze pierces through the silence. Tension hangs in the air as he prepares to make his move. They head to a regular noodle shop. Nothing says high-stakes corporate drama like slurping soup in a cramped booth. The interrogation begins immediately. What do your parents do? He keeps his answers simple, revealing his roots as a farmer's son from the countryside. The branch manager digs deeper, fishing for signs of hidden status. Is this just the old-school mentality, or is he digging for dirt? The guy asks more questions than a tax auditor. He plays the poor boy card, mentioning his crumbling cottage and land back home. The manager seems satisfied. A self-made man is exactly the kind of subordinate he likes to mold. He knows the history. Kang Han-sung climbed the ladder without a dime of help. He's curious why he's being singled out. The branch manager warns him not to get too comfortable or start kissing up just yet. He brings up the real power player in the Gangdong branch, someone who wields more influence than the boss himself. This manager Oh Kyung-sik, the man who actually pulls the strings behind the scenes. Oh Kyung-sik isn't just a manager. He's the eldest son of the powerful Okyung Group. With Okyung Construction holding a massive stake in their firm, he's basically untouchable. The gears are turning. Did they plant him here to infiltrate the company? The corporate conspiracy just got thicker. He questions if Okyung Group is really that big, and the answer is a resounding, terrifying yes. It's an iceberg of financial influence, and Daewoo is only seeing the tip. The manager reveals the secret ties between the two families, making Oh's position ironclad. There are rumors of an arranged marriage that would bind the companies together forever. Talk about a power play. He's reeling. He's just a guy in someone else's body, and he's stumbled into a corporate war zone. He wonders if there's another Joe Jin-Hu out there, or if he's truly alone in this madness. The manager circles back to the client he just handled. He calls it luck, but we all know better. Daekyung Industries is skyrocketing, and people are starting to take notice of the rookie's uncanny eye for stocks. He plays the humble card, calling it luck to keep the target off his back. Still, the results speak louder than his modesty. With a sudden burst of speed, he vanishes from his desk in a blur. The office is left in chaos as he makes his lightning-fast escape. They confront him about his bold promises. Is he running a financial scheme or a legitimate business? They're terrified of the liability, but Daewoo doesn't even blink. A cold, razor-sharp gaze locks onto the target. The calm before the storm has officially shattered. He declares he will take full responsibility, shocking everyone in the room. They think he's lost his mind, but he's just betting on a sure thing. He puts his own money on the line, swearing to reimburse the client if things go south. He challenges manager Oh directly. Is that enough to satisfy his petty ego? The room goes dead silent. Absolute disbelief. Manager Oh is fuming, offended that a rookie would dare talk back to him about ethics. He barks at his lackey, Song Jin, to handle the situation. The manager is deeply concerned about how they're training these new hires. Song Jin scrambles to apologize, desperate to stay in the manager's good graces. The manager decides to let the rookie dig his own grave. He's done interfering. Everyone is watching, waiting for the inevitable downfall of the reckless newcomer. She walks by with icy indifference, leaving her coworker completely stunned in her wake. The tension in the office just hit an all-time high. The manager leaves him to his fate, expecting a swift and brutal failure. He promises to keep a close eye on him, but Daewoo is already 10 steps ahead. The stage is set for an epic takeover. Prepare to witness the rise of a genius monster from the shadows of a corporate empire. He ducks into the restroom, the only place where he can think without 100 eyes on him. Is he really going to walk the same path as the previous life? This is exactly how the nightmare began for the original Cha Daewoo. It always starts small, the little snubs that lead to complete isolation. He's harassed over documents and work, constantly being set up for failure. They hide information and exclude him from meetings, starving him of the tools he needs to succeed. They change the plans behind his back and then mock him for not keeping up. The verbal abuse is relentless, designed to erode his confidence. "Get your act together," they shout, ignoring the fact that they're the ones sabotaging him. They taunt him about his salary, treating him like a parasite despite his hard work. It's gaslighting at its finest, turning a capable employee into a puppet. With a ruthless stomp, he crushes his opponent into the ground. There is no mercy to be found here. This is the infamous new hire hazing, curated by Oh Kyung-sik's little clique. In the original timeline, it was Song Jin who pulled the strings. But this time, the big dog, Oh Kyung-sik, is doing the dirty work himself. It doesn't matter who is doing the hazing, it just makes his victory taste that much sweeter. Groups like this are predictable. They worship power, and if he destroys that power, they'll turn on their own leader in a heartbeat. A firm hand grabs his shoulder, cutting through the tension. The confrontation is about to begin. If you're enjoying this recap, smash that like button and subscribe for more. The timing is perfect. He's ready to strike. Breaking news. Okyung Trading is under investigation. It's time to light the fuse on Oh Kyung-sik's reputation. First, he takes down the crown jewel. The news hits and everyone is caught off guard. Someone approaches him as he's still standing there, stunned. He hasn't eaten yet? She's been thinking about him all day. She warns him to stay quiet, but she's seen the hazing and she knows exactly what he's going through. She's curious about him. Why did he stand his ground when everyone else just crumbled? Back in the day, she endured it all in silence, but he's fighting back. She warns him that Manager O is dangerous, but her look says she's impressed. She wants to be on the winning side of this revolution. There's something addictive about watching an underdog bite back, especially when you never had the guts to do it yourself. She offers her help from the shadows, promising to be his eyes and ears. With a sweet smile and a drink in hand, she corners him in a moment of unexpected intimacy. What's behind that innocent look? The dynamics are shifting, the tormentor has changed, and for the first time he has an ally. The air is heavy with unspoken plans. Someone has finally appeared who sees his potential and wants to support him. It's official. The future of Cha Dae-woo is changing in real time because of his influence. Son, he is in on the secret, and things are getting interesting. These changes are just the appetizer before the main course. He's going to make a fortune, and this is only the beginning. The tension skyrockets as the heavy door swings open. Everything changes in a single heartbeat. Okyung Trading is the target, and he's putting everything on the line. She's stunned that he's actually going to bet on the parent company. He's going all in. He needs every cent of capital he can scrape together. He predicts a 1,059% rise, and he's not just guessing, he knows. It's going to skyrocket, and she's starting to realize he isn't just a lucky rookie. She asks the million-dollar question. How long should she hold? He gives her a specific deadline. Exactly 7 trading days. It's a temporary event-driven surge, and he knows exactly when the bubble will pop. She realizes it's tied to the Baekwu Corporation merger. The pieces are finally clicking into place. Everyone thinks the deal is dead, but he knows something they don't. He tells her to sell everything once the 7 days are up. She's terrified but intrigued. Even a partial investment could net her a fortune. He's using this as a test. If she trusts him, she'll see the truth. He's putting his reputation on the line. Is Cha Dae-woo the underdog worth betting on? Or is he just another fraud? Her eyes widen in sudden shock as the truth hits home. Something unexpected just changed everything. The reality of his genius is finally sinking in. Lunch is almost over. It's time to head back to the den of wolves. He tells her to go on ahead, he's got some cleaning up to do. He gives her the mission. Blend in, act normal, and feed him the inside scoops. It's going to be awkward, and she'll have to ignore him in public. But she agrees to play the game. They're both ready. The afternoon is going to be one for the history books. She freezes, eyes locked onto a discovery that changes everything. The truth is finally surfacing. Dae-woo stands in the spotlight as the center of attention. He declares that if the Okyung Trading investment pays off as promised, he intends to repay the favor in full. He insists he isn't the type to walk around with unpaid debts hanging over his head. He suggests a simple drink to settle the score. The office erupts. Everyone is stunned by the incredible results. Okyung Trading shares have skyrocketed, netting a massive 50% return in just 5 days. A sure thing indeed. The team is absolutely thrilled they followed his expert lead. They recount how he predicted the Baekwu Corporation merger 5 days ago, promising a fortune for those who bought in early. Even the skeptics admit they had their doubts when the market claimed the merger was dead. They realized that without his crucial insider information regarding the Okyung Group, not a single person in the office would have dared to touch those shares. He reminds them that family always looks out for their own, even when things get messy. Her hands tremble as she serves the drinks, clearly rattled by a sudden, jarring revelation. The order is given. Byun Sun-hee needs to show her gratitude to the manager immediately. They point out she conveniently ducked out early that day, claiming she felt under the weather. It's clear she would have been the only one left out of the massive profit-sharing tip. She offers a standard thank you, but it seems a bit thin for a massive payday. The manager isn't satisfied. He's clearly fishing for more than just a polite nod. He pivots, asking her to buy him a drink as a proper sign of appreciation. The pressure mounts as the group insists that she's the one footing the bill for the drinks today. It's only polite to pay back a favor, especially when there's money on the table. She hesitates, clearly caught in a tight spot. Tension is building, and she doesn't quite know how to escape this social trap. A brand new day begins, and the office atmosphere is bizarrely cheerful. He announces his presence with a smile that's far too bright for a Monday morning. He claims he's ready to tackle the workload with unmatched enthusiasm. His colleagues are baffled. Is he having a breakdown, or did he just get replaced by a robot? He dives into his tasks with terrifying speed, acting like a man possessed by productivity. He stares down an unexpected confrontation at his desk, his workday taking a sharp, dangerous turn. Gratitude is expressed, but the air is freezing cold. The Chaebol House Genius Monster title flashes. The climb to the top is officially underway. The branch manager bellows, reminding everyone about the mandatory welcome party for the new recruit. He demands they drink until they drop because apparently tomorrow is the weekend. The team begs for mercy, complaining they are completely swamped with work. The branch manager scoffs, insisting that a welcome party is a sacred, time-honored tradition. He reminds them they didn't get a break during Q3 earnings, so they shouldn't expect one now. A weak protest dies on their lips. They try to explain, but it's clear their words are falling on deaf ears. The branch manager just hums, completely unimpressed by their excuses. He argues that since they are always busy, they might as well be busy and miserable together. The silence in the room is deafening. He turns to Manager O for backup, looking for a partner in this madness. Manager O bows, confirming that the branch manager is, as always, right. He adds a sinister remark about how long the new recruit will actually last in this pressure cooker. A cold, calculating gaze cuts through the room. He's playing a game no one else even understands yet. That stare is sharp enough to draw blood. There is nowhere left to hide from his scrutiny. The office workers are whispering. The branch manager is acting completely out of his mind today. He grins, confirming he knew exactly how this conversation would play out. A manic grin takes over his face. He's officially lost his grip, and the office is his playground. He cheers, claiming Manager O is the only one who truly understands his twisted vision. His patience snaps, and the temperature in the room drops below zero. Someone is about to be made an example of. He lets out a laugh that makes everyone's skin crawl. Orders are barked. Assistant Manager Jung is tasked with finding a venue, and he jumps to obey. A suspicious glance is cast toward the target. The trap is set, and the hunt is officially on. A sharp, knowing nod confirms the plan is in motion. Money is no object. The branch manager tells them to order whatever they want, and he's footing the tab. He demands the drinks keep flowing. Nobody leaves this dinner sober. He catches Manager O trying to slip out the back door. An emergency at home is the excuse, but we all know that's a lie. The branch manager plays it cool, pretending to believe the flimsy excuse. He brushes it off, but his eyes tell a different story. He's a manager, and he's definitely up to something shady. Daewoo tries to make a quick exit to the restroom, but he's being watched. The tension is thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. He drops a cryptic message about the task from a few days ago. It needs to be handled immediately. A mysterious symbol marks the page. The silence is heavy with unspoken threats. Someone storms in, shattering the dinner vibe with the force of a wrecking ball. Her eyes narrow. She's just spotted something very, very interesting. Whispers spread. What exactly is the deal with this rookie? He steps directly into the path of danger, forcing the world to stop and pay attention. The rumor mill is working overtime. Is he the branch manager's secret relative? He's acting so out of character that even his allies are starting to get suspicious. A drink hits the floor, and suddenly, the room feels like a powder keg waiting for a match. He points out that, until now, he's always kept his head down. He shrugs off the spill with a fake apology, but the mask is slipping. He was always the one to play deaf and blind, but those days are over. He snaps his head around, his focus locked onto a new, dangerous variable. He demands to know what sparked this sudden protective streak. He snaps back, accusing the other of being drunk and crossing the line. Total shock hits him. The realization of what he's just seen is finally sinking in. He smirks, asking if that's really how it looks from their perspective. He's ready to drop a bomb that will shatter the branch manager's world. He mocks the branch manager's desperation, noting that retirement is only a year away. He suggests they just keep playing their little parts and stay the course. He dangles a carrot. Maybe, just maybe, he can delay that retirement date. A subordinate bows in total submission, but the look in his eyes suggests a hidden blade. He finishes his thought and prepares to head back into the lion's den. Did he really just hear that? The branch manager seethes, realizing his entire career is being held hostage. He knows he's been played, and he's furious that he fell for it. The bet was his downfall. He never would have sided with him otherwise. A chilling grin appears as he lights up. The calm is over, and the storm is here. He asks the ultimate question. What happens if he's actually right? He demands a favor in return. The stakes have never been higher. The city skyline looms, the battlefield is set. He declares that the branch manager's favor is spent, but he questions if he even has a plan for the war ahead. He calls this the signal flare for their grand counterattack. If you're enjoying this recap, smash that like button and subscribe for more. Total disbelief. What just happened? He's already offloaded his Okyung trading shares? That was fast. He prepares to explain the strategy behind his sudden sell-off. He leans in, ready to drop the truth bomb of the century.